The price of XRP Ripple is going up because BlackRock is the biggest company in the world. You did hear that right. That's what all the crypto experts say, and what they say is completely crazy. They say the XRP Ripple coin could go up to $2,990. That's pretty cool, right? This is without a doubt one of the craziest XRP movies ever made. Let's do it one step at a time. Nota bene. Ripple is once again in the spotlight as its main conference, Swell, starts. Some of the biggest names in traditional banking, crypto, and regulation are there. But what really got the XRP community excited this year was seeing Maxwell Stein, Director of Digital Assets at BlackRock, and Adena Friedman, CEO of NASDAQ. Their presence has led to reports that Ripple could soon be linked to an XRP ETF, which would be a huge deal. For investors who are new to crypto, an ETF is just a type of stock that tracks the price of an asset like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or maybe even XRP, and lets people buy and sell it on regular stock markets. Why is this important? Because it makes it possible for big money to come in. Big Wall Street investors, pension funds, and retirement plans can't just open a crypto wallet and buy XRP, but it's easy for them to do so through their trading accounts. Analyst Scott Melker said that NASDAQ was already very important in holding BlackRock's Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. Melker said that NASDAQ would be the best place for BlackRock to put XRP if they decide that it is the next thing to do. This is the reason why Adena Friedman's at Swell has been heard. Back in August, BlackRock said in public that it had no quick plans to move beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, that statement is starting to fall apart. The head of the ETF Institute, Nate Garassi, said that XRP is clearly controlled and that demand is growing. After Ethereum, it makes sense to move on to this. He also said that the time frame for Rex Osprey's launch of the XRP ETF on September 18th could push bigger companies like BlackRock and Fidelity to move more quickly. Also, Cynthia Lobo-Bissett, an agent for Fidelity, is also busy this year, which adds to the rumors that the world's top money managers are interested in XRP. The market has already changed its mind. Technical signs have turned bullish, which has caused the price of XRP to rise before the conference. XRP is at a crucial turning point because of ETF speculation, Ripple's growing group of supporters, and the fact that it is now legally clear after its victory over the SEC. This is where things get more important. To make XRP look more legitimate to Wall Street and other buyers, BlackRock would have to release an XRP spot ETF. The kind of money that poured into Bitcoin after it was approved as an ETF could all of a sudden pour into XRP. Prices can go up even more when demand is that high. This is called a spiral move. So picture this. With the click of a button, millions of retirement accounts, hedge funds, and other global institutions all buy XRP. That's the kind of situation that a lot of people in the community think could really send XRP to all-time highs. But now for the real question. Just what can XRP really do, you ask? BlackRock and NASDAQ have now joined the picture, so it's no longer just about small price changes. We're talking about statements from the best crypto experts that might blow your mind. They've been through a lot, including scary crashes, cases from the SEC, and years of not doing as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. But now that regulations are clear and there are rumors of an ETF, many people in the community think it's time for XRP to shine. What the XRP Avengers really did was push the limits. They asked, with all the technology, rocketed in value, but XRP, which is meant, this was during the bull run of 2017. You won't believe it, 60,000% growth in just 1 year. Many investors see this rise as proof that XRP can move in ways that honestly don't make sense when adoption and speculation come together. The latest news story says that experts think XRP will go up by 100,000% this cycle. That would mean that each XRP coin is worth almost $2,990 at the moment. Take that in. At that price, XRP's market value would be in the tens of trillions of dollars, which is a lot more than the whole crypto market and a lot more than most of the world's economies put together. But is that really possible? In reality, such a meteoric rise would need either a huge increase in the use of XRP as a payment currency around the world or a major change in the way money moves between countries. Some people think that could happen because Ripple is forming more and more relationships with governments, banks, and payment processors. Some say it's too much to ask without, well, unprecedented institutional pressure. Regulatory risk is also still there, even though Ripple's recent win in court against the SEC provided some much-needed clarity. But to get from $3 to $2,990 it would take more than just optimistic guessing. The whole world's financial system would have to be rethought so that digital assets replace or deeply blend fiat systems. The crypto philosopher said that XRP might be the key to a new era of finance. The million-dollar question is whether that backbone means a four-figure coin price. Oh no, investors shouldn't take these statements as promises, but rather as signs of how much XRP can grow. A chance that, if everything falls into place, could one day shock the world. Now let's talk about Ripple's relationships, which is the fun part. Believe me, the positive signal that these deals hide will shock you, and it could be the best indicator of where XRP is going next. In other words, XRP is quietly reaching a big point that talks louder than any hype. It is now in almost 7 million wallets. Bull, a market expert, said that there are now 6.97 million XRP wallets. This means that Ripple's native currency is almost 7 million wallets strong. That's not just a bunch of numbers on a chart. At a time when many other coins are battling to keep users, this shows that XRP is taking off. We're not letting this rise happen by accident. Wallet creation for XRP has been slowly going up over the past year. This shows that interest is growing beyond short-term speculation. It has to do with use. XRP settles transactions in 3 seconds and almost never costs anything. This makes it a straight competitor to Swift and other old systems. It will be best said by X-Finance. The fact that so many people are using XRP right now really shows how strong it is. Even when the market is down, XRP is slowly reaching more people. Now, though, things get even more interesting. It is said that JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the US by assets, is looking into Ripple's cross-border payment system. If this is true, it means a big change. JP Morgan has been pushing its own blockchain options, such as JPM Coin and the Onyx platform, for a long time. It could be looking at Ripple, which points to something bigger. Big names in traditional banking can see the value in connecting with a network that already has a global reach and a lot of cash on hand. Take a moment to think about that. It would be a big deal for the whole crypto payment industry if JP Morgan adopted Ripple's technology. It wouldn't just prove that XRP is real. Do you agree that this changes the game a lot? Big banks used to be hesitant because of rules, but that is quickly going away. Ripple's win in court against the SEC gave it something that not many other cryptocurrencies can say: clarity. When you add in Ripple's growth in Asia, Europe, and Latin America, XRP seems less like a risky bet and more like the foundation of a new financial system. The real pump in this case is global acceptance. With each new wallet, bank that looks into Ripple's technology, and payment network that tries out XRP, there is more money and trust in the system. Prices can go through the roof when there is plenty of cash on hand and people trust the seller. As we get closer to XRP becoming a standard for cross-border payments, those crazy statements from the XRP community sound more like they could come true. With almost 7 million users, XRP isn't just another coin anymore. It's setting itself up to be a key part of digital payments around the world. Also, if big banks like JP Morgan back it, the effect on prices could be nothing less than explosive. We also can't forget about the whales. There is a lot going on behind the scenes with these big players, making amazing signs that the market is going up that could shake things up. You don't want to miss what's going to happen next. So whales are quietly getting ready for a move in XRP that could go off the charts. People with between 10 million and 100 million XRP in their wallets have bought 340 million tokens in the last 2 weeks, bringing their total to about 7.84 billion XRP. It's interesting that this accumulation has happened even though the crypto market is unstable. This shows that these big buyers aren't just guessing. They really think XRP will do well in the long run. There is more to this story than just institutional desire. Recently, the volume of XRP futures on CME went over $1 billion. This shows that professional investors are paying attention to the coin. Analysts think that this mix of institutional involvement and whale accumulation is a classic way for prices to rise again. One expert said that when whales buy when prices are low, it's often the best sign that bigger gains are on the way. Why is it so important that whales are moving? Large buyers can get into insider deals and flows in traditional markets, but in crypto, every transaction can be seen on the chain. This lets smaller buyers see how the big players are positioning themselves, which they don't usually be able to. When whales gather during times of volatility, it usually means they are optimistic about long-term acceptance and future usefulness. Wankers are betting that XRP will be used in the real world. Its value isn't just based on speculation because it's used for cross